Did you know that in the 1930s, 98% of the people that lived in Little Italy were actually Italian Americans? It's kind of crazy considering now the neighborhood regularly makes lists of tourist traps that people should avoid when they visit New York City. And I myself, as a New York City tour guide and Italian American, regularly tell people to go to other places for Italian food. It still hosts the Feast of San Gennaro, which is the most important celebration of Italian heritage in New York City. It also has shops where you can get items from specific regions in Italy. These are ingredients that you can't buy anywhere else on the island of Manhattan. And if you visit the restaurants, you'll find a lot of native Italian speakers that have come there looking for jobs. So it can't be all bad, right? I'm about to find out. I'm about to visit every single restaurant in Little Italy. Join me today for my first restaurant, Aunt Jake's. Aunt Jake's restaurant was started by two guys who used to own a bar called the Mulberry Project. And the big thing at the Mulberry Project were these bespoke cocktails. Basically, you give them a flavor profile, a spirit type, and an ingredient, and they'll make you a cocktail. So they carried this over to the Aunt Jake's restaurant. I wound up choosing spicy, grapefruit, and gin, and I was not disappointed. The drink that I got was really refreshing and very tasty. It cost $15, which, I don't know, it's New York City, but still kind of a lot for a cocktail. But if I was in Little Italy and price wasn't something that I was thinking about, I might take a friend to Aunt Jake's just to have the cocktail. Next, I decided to get an appetizer. And it was really hard, I think, to choose an appetizer that really gave you an opportunity to judge the cooking at the restaurant. They had a lot of things like stracciatella, which I love. It's kind of like burrata, but it's stringy. I had it when I was in Puglia. They also had some salads. They had an Italian wedding soup, but because it's spring right now, they weren't serving it. So that left me with two options, the meatballs or the calamari. And I decided to get the calamari because you can really mess up calamari. It was a good choice. It was crispy, it was delicious, the squid was fresh. It was served over these roasted red peppers that were just a little bit sweet and just a little bit spicy. I really liked it. The marinara sauce that came with it seemed perfect and complimentary. They had, I think, a little bit of bay seasoning that they had used, which was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So I was pretty excited to try Aunt Jake's pasta. It's something that they make homemade. In fact, they say that they are the only restaurant in Little Italy that actually makes handmade pasta. The rest is supposed to be dried rather than fresh. And the way that you get your pasta, you go in and you choose. They have the pasta types listed, and then you can pick your sauce. So the first one that I tried was rigatoni and carbonara sauce. Carbonara is one of my favorite sauces. I had it in Rome, so I actually feel like I know what it should taste like. That's where carbonara comes from. Carbonara has 4 ingredients in it traditionally: olive oil, egg, pecorino romano, and guanciale, which is the best part. And then I got Aunt Jake's. It was a little disappointing. Rule number 1 with carbonara: never, ever use cream. And what did they do? They used a lot of cream. They also used onion, which really sort of overpowered the dish. And then they added peas. Now, if I had read the menu, I did go back and it did say peas. And I guess, that could be just interpreted as a choice, but it was not supposed to be there. As far as I was concerned, if you're ordering a carbonara sauce. There's supposed to be egg in carbonara, and it's very possible that they put egg in the carbonara sauce, but they overpowered it with the cream. And I think a lot of times people do that because they're trying to stretch the sauce. It was not a delicious sauce. In fact, I thought it was kind of gross. What was good was the rigatoni that I ordered with it. Those were really good noodles. So it's like really disappointing. You get this delicious fresh made pasta, and then you get this really sort of subpar carbonara. Definitely not the typical preparation. and not even very tasty. The next dish we ordered was chicken bolognese with farfalle. My friend Joseph ordered it, and I'm glad he did because I wouldn't have ordered it. It's not actually an Italian dish. Bolognese sauce, as it comes out of Bologna, is made with beef and pork. And there's no, Italian equivalent that I know of for chicken bolognese sauce. It might be an Italian-American thing because the menu itself said, hey, this is a white sauce. Oddly, this dish I thought tasted more like a carbonara than the carbonara did. The egg consistency really came through a lot. They just, I think, used egg and olive oil to get sort of that nice consistency that I love about carbonara sauce. I think they also probably used some broth because the chicken was so savory and flavorful. There was also, I think, some cheese that went in there. Overall, they went a little bit overboard on the things that make it salty, whether it was actually salt or cheese, and on, pepper probably. It was a little heavy on the seasonings, but a much tastier sauce than the carbonara sauce. Next, we ordered the chicken Parmesan. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. If I'm gonna go 1 to 10 on this, I'd probably put the chicken Parmesan at about a 6. It had some real problems. First of all, way too much seasoning, super salty. The marinara sauce was definitely the same sauce that was in the calamari. Where it worked with the calamari, it was really sort of bitter for the chicken Parmesan. I like my chicken Parmesan sauce to be, just a little bit sweet, and I think that, it just lacked that. Kind of disappointed with the chicken Parmesan. So, Aunt Jake's. I really wanted to like this place, but I think at the end of the day, it just fell short for me. The best thing is definitely the homemade pasta, which is something that they advertise. And if you're looking to get fresh pasta in Little Italy, that is the place to go. I just think that the sauces fell a little bit short of the pasta. On the other hand, if you're looking to learn how to make fresh pasta, they have something there called the Aunt Jake's Pasta Lab, and they will teach you how to make pasta just like they do. You can find out more about it on their website. I put the link below in the description. So check that out. I think that's a worthwhile thing. Otherwise, the most exciting thing for me that I had was the bespoke cocktail, which, was really good, but was also $15. And I can't really see going to Little Italy just to have a $15 cocktail when there are so many great cocktail bars in New York City with more of an atmosphere that, makes me want to spend $15 on a cocktail. So, Aunt Jake's, best of luck to you. Thanks for doing something different. I am going to be reviewing every other Italian restaurant in Little Italy, so stay tuned to City Boy. Subscribe if you want to see the rest of those videos. And if you disagree with me, leave a comment below. Tell everybody, hey, this is the dish to get, or Matt doesn't know what he's talking about. That's my favorite place. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon.